Greetings, Patrick here, 8 Questions with, and happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Wow. Um, so welcome to the show. Yes. Yeah, a couple of people have already reached out to me and said what happened yesterday. Circumstances beyond our control. With yesterday. Actually, circumstances beyond anybody's control yesterday. Um, yeah, it just wasn't gonna work. I was no fault of our guest, Larry Avzito, no fault of his. It's just yeah, it was just uh not a good time for yesterday's show. So I'm hopefully maybe a little bit later on, maybe when I come back or early next year, I'm going to invite him back on and where there's less pressure on and just talk to him and see what the process was like. Um, Basically, what I understand from him and what I understand from the process of running for president is the fact that you can qualify for some funds. Um, you pay to run. You have to what they do is they want to make sure there's people that are legitimately interested in doing so. Of course, you got your fringe candidates out there as well, right? The ones that are wearing a sack over their head or something like that. Um, but basically, what it comes down to level of like if you really are going to be able to maintain, to do a campaign, you're going to have to show that you have a certain amount of money. Um, if you're serious about it, to if there's momentum with you and what have you, and that includes all the candidates. So there's a bunch of them that are going to be dropping out here really soon because of that. Um, sort of like it's sort of like putting your toes in the water. You file and then you see what you gauge what the interest is in you. If there's interest, hi Katie. If there's really any interest in you as a candidate, it'll show, manifest itself. Um, so not to take anything away from Larry at all, because I do think like I said, I do think he is a candidate. I think he was very serious about what he was doing. Um, it just really shocked me, and I was talking about this with somebody. Um, I was actually talking about this with somebody how shocked I was when Larry couldn't find any volunteers to work his campaign. That really surprised me. I thought that honestly, I thought that anybody that would run for president, I really, if you put out the call and sit there and say, "Hey, I'm running for president," and you have a legitimate campaign, you have a platform that you're campaigning on, you would think that you go to just about any college and get some volunteers to work on a campaign just for their resume, just to say that you did it. Um, but when I talked to him, he mentioned how he could not get on campuses um, because you have to be invited on to a college campus in order to speak. You just can't come up and set up a microphone and say, I'm going to be running for president. Someone has to sponsor you. And in the so-called liberal state of California, he could not find a college, a community college or a university that would have him come on campus and able to speak. That really hurts you right off the bat. You got to be able to reach the people, especially the young people, the people with ideas, and but not able to get onto the campus and be able to speak in front of a captive audience. It really hurts. So, but he's a good guy. I was glad that he reached out to me. Like I said, I hope we're going to stay in touch. I hope that somewhere down the line that we can able to get him on the show, and I want to talk to him about his experiences about doing this. Um, but tonight, uh, we have actress Amy Amy Lynn Woodall. will be here. Woodall will be here tonight, and we're really happy about that because she seems to be a very dynamic actress, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her. She seems like a very fun person. Um, and I mean, she's got some good work underneath her belt, and including a really interesting short that looks really cool. I want to talk to her about, called Alone. It seems like a lot of films lately have been called that. There's also a film that she plays in called Locked In. Now I'm looking at the poster. I don't know why, but I keep on thinking Locked In. I'm going like, why is that like you know like are they locked in a building, or are they locked in their minds? Because that locked in the mind, locked in syndrome, man, that seems to be like a terrifying thing. All right. Uh, but Amy Lynn has a ton of good horror films to talk about, and she'll be here shortly, so we can talk. Hi, Anthony. How are you? All right. Anthony's up to. He's only got 24 to go. 24 to go. Um, Thank you to anybody who's coming in watching the Ice Lords live stream. He is doing 31 movies in 31 days watch alongs, and tonight he is watching Talk to Me from that boutique label A24. And yes, if you're asking, yes, Mr. Bones was in the room watching the movie as well. A couple of boutique ballas watching films. Now, of course, this is my opportunity to talk about. Speaking of boutique ballas, um, so this is my opportunity to comment about the Best Buy news. That they are no longer going to be carrying physical media starting next year. I'm really, really surprised by that. I really am. Um, I tell you who's gonna benefit from this if they don't panic, if they don't, like, follow the crowd, which I really don't think they will. But you know who I think is really gonna benefit from this if they keep it going? Believe it or not, it's gonna be Walmart. Walmart might be our last line for physical media. Um, Now that Target is gone, Meyer still has it, a regional store. Meyer still has it. Um, they still have physical media. The prices have not really gone down though. That's the only thing. I think the other one is going to be, as far as surviving goes, will be Big Lots. I see Big Lots is very popular right now. A lot of people post a lot of Big Lots. Saying they gone over there and they got some really good deals. Dollar General is still carrying physical media, but I think as far as brand new releases go, I think it's going to be Walmart. I, I think what's going to happen. I think they're going to realize that, hey, if everybody else is quitting and we don't, people are going to come to us because we have what they want. And like I mentioned before about the Target, it's like I used to go to Target, and I go there and I go look at the physical media section, but it always seemed like on the way out, I always picked up something. I always I mean, I didn't plan on it. I plan on just going to the physical media section and coming out. But it always seemed like once I got there, I started looking around and I would actually get something else for the house or whatever. I just, I just don't understand I just don't understand. I just like to know who they're talking to as far as market research goes. I know they say that, yeah, there's less people buying movies. There are only less people buying. They're not less people buying movies. You're just forcing them to buy them in another way. They're still buying them, but they're buying them online. And they don't like it. They don't like buying. I don't. I prefer not to. I sort of like to go inside a store and look around. If I have to, I will. But you know what? I'd rather be able to go to a store and look around and to be able to buy my physical media. Hey Timothy, welcome, welcome. Hey Andre, how are you? Hi Sue. All right. Yeah, so Best Buy is gonna be going out of the physical media, business. I still think that, I think Walmart will be the last major it'll be the last major outpost. Um, Now we still haven't heard if Dollar Tree is gonna be getting in or out of the business. Um, I don't know. I don't think we're really gonna know about Dollar Tree until Black Friday. I think that will tell us what we need to know about Dollar Tree. If there is no Black Friday and they have no movies out this year, then I think that Dollar Tree is out of the movie business. Um, and again, that's just I'm just really surprised. Um, of course, I mean, the studios are still releasing product. They're still releasing it. Disney's gonna be releasing a ton of their releases. Um, they're gonna be releasing all their Marvel and Star Wars content. This is what I thought. I really thought that Target would come in and carry that, and then see what happens with it. I really believe that if he did that, if they really released all the Disney product and keep the prices reasonable, I can see a resurgence if you give it a chance. If you put physical media back on the shelves for a quarter for 4 months or 3 months, I should say, see what happens. See what your sales go like. Um, but yeah, it's going to be very very interesting. Um, Let's see. Nothing. Yes, nothing. Yeah, there's like I know I go to Hamilton Book. I do. I zip over there like once every other month. I look over there because I mostly go there for ISC titles, which will be drying up real soon because now that Vinegar Syndrome is going to be taking over it, and they're going to be their prices are going to be um so I suspect that the whatever we get at Hamilton Book will be fading soon. Um, which is a shame because that's one of my favorite places to go to shop for IFCs. It's the last bastion of good prices. Um, yeah, I don't know. It does feel like we're swimming against up the stream now, as far as that goes. Uh, all I know is that they're still donating at the library's still buying physical media. People are still donating it at the library. So I'm still able to go there every Tuesday. And I don't know what I'm gonna get. That's the cool thing about the library. You just don't know. Um, but it'll be interesting to see just how many movies come into the library once places like traditional places like Best Buy and Target go out of a physical media altogether. Um, will people I've heard people saying how they're starting to hold on to their movies, um, and some of them are selling, some of them are holding on to them and then selling. And I've noticed a lot of people say that the prices are rising on eBay and Amazon, because people know that, and they know that now there's going to be less product out there, so just going to be jacking up the prices. All right, well, rest in peace, Piper Laurie. She passed away this week. Many of you know her as Carrie White's mom in Carrie. But Piper Laurie had a great career. She died at 91. She had a fantastic career. She was so beautiful. Man, people don't realize that. If you go back and watch her when she was younger, wow, she was drop dead gorgeous, and she aged beautifully, um, and a good actress on top of that. I really enjoyed watching Piper Laurie very much. All right, the doorbell rings. That must be our guest is here. So share us out, those who want to. But the rest of you are here. Let's go get our guest, Miss Amielynn Woodall. Woodall, I think it's Woodall or Woodall. I have to ask her. But here we go. Okay, come on. Come on. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Hi.
All right. Hi, how are you? Hello? Can you hear me all right? I heard her for a split second. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Hello, Amy? Hello, I hear you. Oh,
Hello.
there you are. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was pinging you on Facebook saying if you can hear me or not. Because I can hear you.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes, I hear you perfect. Oh, I think you froze. If you can hear me still, just back out and come back in. Oh, there you go. You're free. You're fine. Yeah, sometimes when we start this, it freezes up a little bit, and then it'll be fine. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear? Can you? Okay. Hello. Testing one, two. Can you guys hear me all right in the chat? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me fine? If you can hear me, can you type in a one in the chat? If you can hear me, I want to make sure it's not me. Uh-oh, maybe it is me. All right. All right, hold on. Let me try to back. I'm gonna come out and come back in. Two. Okay. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good. Wow. I don't know what to tell her. Amielynn, can you look at your Facebook? Let's see. Oh, I didn't think we needed it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I could hear her too. I had no problem hearing her, but I don't think she could hear me. So I thought it was myself. I thought it was me. Okay, here she is. Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, Oh, all right. I can hear her fine. I can hear her. I can hear her. Okay. I don't know. Let me try. Let me try reaching her on her Instagram. That might be helpful. Okay.
I can
Let
hear
me
you.
ping her.
I can hear
Oh,
you, but
can you hear
it's
me now?
freezing up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So now you hear me fine now?
not now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay. Yeah, no, I could hear you. I could hear you, I could hear you, but I didn't know if you could hear me or not. Um, how, oh, she's probably in LA too, which always cracks me up because of all the places you think that had the best reception, you would think California would, Silicon Valley and all that. But it never ceases to amaze me how much problems we have connecting in California at times. So we know she'll be back. So she's gonna have to try to come back in. That's StreamYard. Okay, here we go. Okay. Welcome back. Oh my gosh. Wow. Testing one, two. Testing. The gremlins have us. The gremlins have us. All right. Oh yeah. Looks like it's gonna be yeah, isn't it? I think she's having tech issues on her side. Um so she's a gamer. She's coming. But I'm not so sure it's her. It's all her. I think part of it's StreamYard because it's really sluggish right now. Okay.
Yeah. Everything on my end says kind of issues with the side.
I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that. Are you based in Los Angeles?
No, I'm actually in
Are you
Arkansas.
really? Wow. I thought for sure the way the tech issues, yeah, it would be California because we had the worst problems when we do interviews from California. The worst.
Well, I live out in the country, so connection's not the greatest.
Oh, okay. Right, right. Yeah, that could happen. And I think part of it too is also StreamYard as well. Because I'm seeing it's a little sluggish as far as loading goes. But now you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. And like our friend Timothy says, well, definitely an interesting way to start the interview. Oh yeah, it's not
Definitely.
it's not 8 questions with unless we have some sort of tech problems. Uh, but it's true though, Timothy. We have the worst connections in California than anywhere else, and I've done shows in Australia and New Zealand, and I've had worse times connecting in California than I did with those two countries. Um, so I'm glad you're here, and and uh, we're gonna have a lot of fun as long as the gremlins don't get us. We will do our best. We will do our best to stay to stay in the fight and to deliver a fun chat. Hey Jeff, how are you? Yeah, Jeff. Actor Jeff Clark says, "Try technology." They said, "Yeah, ain't that the truth?"
It'll be
So
fun,
where,
they said.
I guess you know what. Now that she said you're out Arkansas based, there's probably one thing we should start off the show with, and that is, can you do the the cry for Arkansas, right? The University of Arkansas.
Yeah, but I'm an Oklahoman, so I never make that call.
Oh, okay. We don't want it. We know. Okay, well, that gets you out of it because I was gonna say
Yeah,
if you could do
my family would disown me. My family would totally disown me if I did that.
if you did the suey pig.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's bad.
okay.
They're straight up OU fans. So
Uh-huh.
it's bad enough that I'm an OSU fan. Lord
Uh-huh.
forbid I become an Arkansas fan. They would totally disown me.
Oh my gosh. We won't
Yeah.
put you up to that. Though it would be hilarious. It would be hilarious. I love it. I love it that and so sports big with you? Is that something down in Arkansas? Is that big down there?
It is, but we don't have our own NFL or NBA team. But yeah, sports is pretty big here. Like, we've got a lot of college teams.
Yes, yes. There's a lot of college teams down in Arkansas. Yeah, it's Timothy says that if he did Suey Pig around Oklahoma, that would cause a riot. I'm going to go
Oh
with
gosh,
Timothy on this one.
yeah.
There's my friend Al. Has this come in? Hey Al, welcome in. Okay, now that I'm settling in here after our bumpy start. So now I guess we should do. Wow, I'm really out of sorts here. So let's go start with the beginning. When did you decide that you were going to start this acting thing?
Well, there was a movie called The Riot Act being filmed in Van Buren, and I didn't know about it. I was on my way home from the gym. Was my favorite driving route, through downtown, and historic Van Buren was shut off, and got up closer. I was on the phone with my husband, and then when I got up to where I could see it, I started screaming, "I gotta go," and I hung up on him. But yeah, it was just like being that close to a movie set, like kind of because I've always wanted to act or be an actor, and
Okay.
I can't remember if that was 2018 or 2019, but and then it was like having grandkids and stuff. It was like, how do I expect them to follow through on their dreams, to constantly go for that goal if I never started myself?
Right.
So
Right.
being that close to a movie set and having grandbabies.
So you got your start in 2018?
2018 or 2019, yeah.
Wow, you have done a lot. You have done a lot of work in such a short period of time. You have a nice body of work, and for that to only happen in only in only 5 years or 4 years, 4 or 5 years, it's pretty amazing. Have you you must have been you must be natural. You must be naturally gifted, because a lot of people they don't get that kind of work in just 4 years. You have almost 30 projects.
Yeah, and I've got probably 10 of them that aren't on IMDb.
Wow. So 40 projects.
Yeah, they just said it was less.
Now, so had you ever done any acting beforehand, like in high school or college or in community theater?
High school and a couple of church plays, and that was it.
So you had
I've always been a bit of a drama queen,
so
yeah.
you
like
had.
I've always been a bit of a drama queen.
Oh. Yeah, but I think most Southerners do, though. Most Southern girls don't they have a little bit of drama in the blood?
Yeah, it comes natural,
The Southern ladies that I know, and I've known a few, they do have some dramatic blood in them, every one of them. But you know what? It serves them well. It's not. It's a good. It's a good thing. So
Oh yeah.
here you are. So what did you do? Did you act when you're acting in a church place or what have you? So you had actually no idea that you didn't think that was ever going to happen for you. Did you ever explore it?
No,
Did you ever
honestly, I did.
explore your time? No, never, not once. That's interesting. So now that so after you told your husband that there's a movie set here and I'm going to go and take a look at it, did you
Oh
get
no, I
did you
never
get the
told him. I
job?
just hung up on him.
Oh,
No,
gee.
I just hung up on him. I was like, I gotta go. I hung up on him. He's freaking out, like, what's going on? Are you okay? And when I figured out what was, then I called him back. It's like, oh yeah. So I told him what I was doing. Yeah, it scared him to death because he thought something was wrong.
Did you get a job
And
out of
then,
that?
no, I didn't, because it was like one of the last night's filmings, and everything, like even the extras and everything, were already cast. But
Okay.
that night when I got home, I started hitting up casting calls that night.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you. Fearless. Fearless. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
were you nervous about doing that, or did you just have that fire, just like I'm going to do this?
I did it. I wanted to do it, so I did it.
Because most people, like we've heard of some people who've gotten their start on like on Craigslist. There's a couple of actors that we talked to that
Really?
they got their first roles off of. Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's exactly what I said. But yeah, they got their
Mine was
start.
off of Facebook, so.
You know what though? But there are yeah. Well, I've learned the rule about Facebook casting groups, and that is when they're private, they're probably going to be more legit. When they're moderated, they're more
Mm-hmm.
legit. Public
Yep.
groups, yeah, I stay away from that. Oh, that's horrible.
Oh
Uh, yeah. For people who are what we're talking about is Facebook groups. And Facebook groups are public, and then there's private. And the ones that tend to be private tend to be more like if you're going to be looking for an acting job or if you're want to be part of an acting crew or what have you. If you go to a private group with a moderator and admins, um, what you're seeing and the offers you're getting will be legitimate versus public ones, which is it's just a cesspool. I use
yeah.
them to
Mm-hmm.
promote, but I don't. I would never tell anybody to go to a public Facebook group for anything to do with acting. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, people probably get jobs that way, but they probably don't more often or not. So what was it like the first time that you went on? Did you go to Facebook first? How when you said you
Yeah,
went to casting? Um,
I,
did
I
you?
just typed, I got home, I got on Facebook. Like I just got home, got on Facebook, typed in casting call, search, and there it was.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
Now
That was all it is,
which
man.
are you in Little Rock?
No, I'm actually in Van Buren.
Okay.
It's
How
directly
far is
across
it?
the river from Fort Smith.
Okay. So how big of a city is Fort Smith?
Not that big. Well, because my husband's retired Army, and we've lived in cities with millions of people. So, but Fort Smith is a small city.
I'm just wondering how far did you have to go? Did you start because you must have been doing self taping right off the bat because that's the with the pandemic. I mean, did you
Mm-hmm.
know anything about? Did you
Yeah,
know anything at all
yeah.
about auditioning or anything like that?
I didn't, but I watched a lot of tutorials on how to do self tapes and just trial and error, till I got it down.
It's so punk rock. That so you did it by yourself. Did you have anybody that knew anything about it that you could ask for help, or you self-taught yourself everything?
When I started out, yeah, it was everything is self taught because like I'm the only person in my family that is in the industry at all. Nobody in my friend group is like they're not even interested in it. So yeah, everything was self taught at first, and then after I started making connections, I've had a lot of help.
What was it? Where did you? How close? Is there any sort of community? Is there any sort of acting community around you, around your area, or do you have to travel to for like bigger auditions or callbacks?
I usually have to travel. I mean, there are like in Van Buren and Fort Smith, there are 2 small community theaters, but that's not anything I'm interested in. But for like for film, I travel on the average of 2 hours away to, sometimes I've had to go all the way to Indiana.
Wow. Now, does your husband go with you for your jobs?
No, like if it's local and he don't have anything else to do, he'll chaperone me up there. But like for those distance ones, sometimes I carpool with like another actor if they're cast in it or whatever. But nah, I just take myself.
Okay. So, so what was your first set? What was your first movie that you worked on?
Indestructible, Reckoning.
And what was that? Do you remember I mean, it's not that long ago, so I'm sure you still have the experience fresh in your mind. But walk us through your very first day that you went on set. What do you remember? What you did, and what you saw, and what you did?
Well, it was when I first got there. It was both of my scenes were filmed in the house because it was a party scene, and so it was just like, okay, this is different. You know, I was just like trying to fill everybody out, and yeah, it was different. Like not quite what I would have expected. Like, you know, because I knew getting into the industry, but yeah, like it was filmed with a cell phone, and then like the character that I was playing, she was in her early 20s, but
Okay.
they director liked me so much. He just
I can see you
the
playing.
director liked me so much he gave me the role. So
that's I can
Well,
see
thank
you
you.
doing early 20s for sure. And were you surprised to see that the camera they were using was a cell phone? Did you when you saw that, did you like go? Did you have second thoughts when you saw that? Like, are they making a movie with a cell phone, or did you just took the leap of faith?
Well, you know, we get there and I realized that it was, when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. All right, let's roll. Let's, you know, this is how it's going to be done.
Do movies have been made with cell phones, right?
They have, and you know, some cell phones give really, really good quality.
They really do. It's weird
Yeah,
though.
I was just like, okay.
I'm sure it's weird for you when you sit there and you see, most of the time people, there's a rig on, there's a big camera right there and everything else. But then they have this little cell phone and they get this little on a holder and they're walking towards you and you're like, that must have been was that a little disconcerting acting in front of a cell phone? Was it a little bit like weird? Did it feel weird?
It felt very weird, but you know, that's how it was done. So that's how I did it. Because, you know, like I said, that was my first movie set and I didn't know what to expect. So, and I was honestly thinking movie camera, big, you know.
Right. So what was your role?
Her name was Samantha Walker, I think. But she was just this party girl who was like bitchy and better than everybody. And yeah, falls in, you know, meets a guy, and the guy she hooks up with at the party ends up being a serial killer. And
whoops.
Yeah, she fell victim to him.
Oh, you died your very first film? Mm-hmm. Oh man, the director couldn't let you live, at least for the first movie.
Well, he actually brought my character back, that same character, for one scene in the follow-up film to that one. It was a dream sequence that he had, and he was dreaming about her.
Okay.
Because he didn't mean to kill her. It was total accident.
So you got to be your first 2 movies were your first movie and the sequel on top of that. That's pretty damn good.
Oh yeah. But I couldn't wait for that character to be gone. I didn't like what I had to wear, so
Did you? Oh, you got to put some you got to put some party girl clothes on. Did you have to supply your own wardrobe, or did
Yeah.
they give you wardrobe?
Oh, I did. And I don't
Oh,
mind
wow.
that because I get to pick, if I supply it, I get to pick it out, which means I
Okay.
get to keep it, and I'm going to pick out something that I'd wear normally. But this
Right. I mean,
that character, I couldn't do that. But yeah, I don't mind.
now,
I don't mind
now
supplying all.
did they tell you when you bring your own wardrobe, when you bring your own wardrobe, did they tell you up front that, listen, we're going to be doing we're going to do some special effects, maybe put a little blood or anything like that? So did they tell you that beforehand, that bring clothes that you don't mind getting dirty on, dirty in, because we might
Oh
be
yeah,
doing.
oh yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll tell
Because
you
I would.
sometimes, like bring a couple exact of the same shirt or clothes, whatever, just in case something happens and they have to reshoot a scene before it got bloody.
And do you get reimbursed for your clothes if they get ruined?
Nah, I ain't worried about it.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay,
I haven't yet. So
okay.
they've
Uh,
offered, but there are a couple of companies have offered, but I was like, nah, dude. I was like, I'm probably going to wear it somewhere else. So, I'm
okay.
keeping it. So don't worry about it.
Well, that was very nice of them to do that. Okay, so now you got
Mhm.
your first. Now that you got your first role, now did you start taking any acting
Mhm.
classes while either before your first role or after the first role? Did you start taking acting classes at
No,
all?
I haven't
Just
taken any because where I
really?
live, there's no the only acting. Yeah, the only acting school is for elementary through high school. So there's nothing in this area for adults. And the nearest acting school is like 2.5 hours away.
Oh my
And
gosh,
there's a lot
yeah.
of online classes, but I don't want to sink money into those and them not be legit or whatever. So
Right,
I
right.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah, if I'm having issues nailing a part or getting into that character, I've got a lot of actor friends, and I just, hey, dude, what do I need to do? Where do I got what I got to do to get this character to where it needs to be?
So, can you run lines that way? I mean, because most of the time, or does your husband do that for you?
Oh, for auditions?
Right.
Yeah.
Does he?
Well, I'll have like if my daughter's home. I'll have her run lines with me, like for my audition. And then if my
Okay.
husband's available, then because he works late, I'll have him do it. But most of the time, I'll get somebody on FaceTime on my tablet or the computer because I record my auditions with my cell phone. So there's always somebody there.
Let's see. We got our first question for you. It says, question for Amielynn. What did you do before you started acting?
Grandma.
Grandma.
I was a grandma.
I know. I can't believe
No,
it either.
stay,
I'm
stay at
looking.
home.
I'm looking at you, and I just can't see a grandma.
Thanks. Yeah, I've got 4 of them. So,
Oh my
but
stars.
yeah, I was just like, stay at home military wife. Yep, stay at home military wife, raise the kids. Husband retired from the army, and like I said, that night that I drove up on that movie set, and I decided it, and having grandbabies, I was like, it's my time now. I'm going to do what I want to do,
I love
and
that
I
story.
did.
I love that story. I think it just shows a lot of courage and a lot of ambition and chasing your dream. And you're right. It is sort of hard to tell somebody oh, you can do it. You got to chase your dream. And then when you haven't done it yourself, it's sort of like,
Mhm.
yeah, you have that longing in you, like I wish, like you regret. I wish I would have
Yeah.
taken a chance. So, um, so you do work with other actors. So you've actually built a online community of fellow actors.
Mhm. Yep.
Anybody Arkansas based?
Yeah, I work with Jason Pitts a lot. He's Lucid Lake Pictures. He's the one who made Voorhees Night of the Beast,
Okay.
and Voorhees After the Beast. Him and I actually live like 10 minutes apart, so I've worked with him on, God, I lost count on how many projects.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of horror films in Arkansas.
Honestly, that's all I
Um,
do. There is, and I've done a couple other. One of them was like the family. I don't know how to describe it. And then I did another one that was a short film that it wasn't horror related, but I totally despised that character because of the type of person she was. But
mhm.
it was also my most rewarding role to do because I had to really dig deep for that one.
Is it hard for you
But
to get
yeah,
into character? It-
uh, just there's only been two characters that was super hard for me to get into, and it was just because they were racist. Yeah, so you happen to be that for hours and hours. It takes everything out of me, you know.
right, right. Jeff Clark mentions he says I recommend James Ciccone from New York City for a remote acting class via Zoom. He's great. Now, Jeff was an accomplished actor and screenwriter himself. So, in fact, he just placed one of his screenplays placed in some festivals. So, and
Awesome.
he's also worked with a very accomplished screenwriter in Pat Bradley. So, Jeff is the real deal, much as yourself. Um, do you connect with a lot of actors? Do you connect with a lot of actors through your social media other than Facebook? Do you when you
Oh
to me
yeah,
I would want to
yeah,
oh,
yeah. I
okay,
have them certain ones, the ones that I talk to the most. I get them on Instagram. That and we have each other's private phone numbers, so that's
right.
just how we communicate.
And yet here comes another film director. They're all coming out to see you today, Amielynn. This is director Chadwick Whitmere. He made a movie called Malcolm, and he is based in Georgia. And yeah, he too is the real deal. Um, Glad to see you, Chadwick. This is fun. I love it. I got to be honest with you. An interview like this is one of my favorite types. Is to me because when I turn around and I see peers coming through the door to see you, or see whoever I'm talking to, I just love the fact of the idea that the peers are supporting each other, and offering advice
Oh,
or
definitely.
saying hello. Do you like networking? You seem to me like you'd be a really natural networker. Like, if
I
you
love it.
could,
I love it.
I knew it. I
Yeah,
knew
I
it.
love it.
See, yeah, I get the smooze on. Yeah, schmoozing is almost a lost art these days, right? I used to smooze all the time back in
It
my
is, you have to have that certain finesse. Yeah. No, I
I
like people. I like talking to people, being around them, and never meet a stranger. So
that yeah, you might meet a stranger, but by the end of the conversation you
no,
have a
I never
friend.
meet a stranger.
You never
Yeah,
meet a
I
stranger.
it's like no, man. I see somebody, it's like, dude, I just I talk to them like I know them forever. That's I don't know. That's just what I
That
do.
must be, you know what though? That must, directors pick up on that, and so do casting directors. They pick up on that behavior. I've talked to a lot of them. They look for that. They look to see what kind of chemistry that the cast have with each other. And I'm sure that Jeff and Chadwick will back that up too. Al Lucard up there. I'm sure they would all back that up. When you're on a set and you're working, especially with new actors, you want to see how they get along. You want to see how they interact with each other. Are they helping out each other? Are they standoffish? Are they loud and trying to take over a set? I'm sure you've seen all of those in your career so far. Um,
Oh yeah.
so so mostly horror films in Arkansas though, right?
Hmm. That's my favorite. Well, I don't know if that's what I do. There are
Now,
other
were you a
genres,
horror
but just
movie fan
horror's my
yourself?
favorite. Pardon?
Did you watch horror films yourself
Hmm.
before
Yeah,
this?
that's
I
like
mean,
my favorite. Like, oh yeah, oh yeah. I can go to sleep watching the worst slasher movie or true crime, anything like that. I'll sleep like I'll sleep all night long. I go to sleep watching a Disney movie and it gives me nightmares, man. I don't know.
That's interesting. I've actually heard of that too before. I've heard of people saying, well, I like the horror fans. They'll sit there and say, oh, I can watch a slasher movie all day long, and then you sit there and say, well, how about some supernatural, some demons and shit? And they're going like,
Okay,
oh
I'll
no,
watch
I'm
those
good.
too.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, those are the
Uh,
best ones, though. Ones that,
oh
like the psychological ones that mess with you. Oh yeah.
definitely. So the first Samantha got brought back as a sequel, and
Dream one.
but you were also busy in between that. You did a movie called Dark Knight. Um, now when you get to,
That's
how do you pick? Do you look for your scripts, Amielynn? Do you look for them? I mean, do people just, you know, when I know, you know, a lot of filmmakers will put up like, I'm looking for this, or I'm casting for this. Do you put your name in the hat for everything?
I did when I first started. Like I would do 5-6 auditions a day, and that's the oldest grandbaby.
Oh, okay. She's
See,
already
we go back
stealing
here, baby.
scenes.
Yeah, she already steals the limelight. Look at her. I mean, she's
Yeah,
just gorgeous.
she's already stealing scene. What's up with
Oh,
that?
there she is.
It's in
Go
the
back to you,
blood.
baby. I love you. Yeah, yeah. She likes all this stuff, you know.
Grandma, you want to run lines with me? Now, have you had an
Try getting
opportunity?
her to like.
How does your family react to? How did your husband react when you told him that I'm going to be doing this from now on? I mean, was he like, okay, or was he like,
He was
huh?
cool. He was just like cool. You know, he knows like if I just make up my mind, I'm telling him I'm going to do something, it's going to happen, and he's been very, very supportive.
Now, well, you've been really fortunate in the fact that you do a lot of horror movies, so there's not a lot of like, you know, there's not dramas or romance or comedy or whatnot. Are you looking to branch out into that, or do you want to try comedy? Do you want to try
Yeah,
drama?
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to. It's just the way, like I said, horror is my favorite genre, and those are just the roles that fall into my lap or that I get. I haven't had the opportunity to do a comedy yet.
Yeah. See, Chadwick has mentioned the voices are soothing in a lot of those true crime shows. Yeah, there's a couple of voices that are AI voices. I see them on on Facebook and on Instagram. They're actually AI. You hear them all the time, and you know that they're AI, and no one seems to pick up on that. It's sort of creepy, honestly. It's really creepy hearing an AI voice. Yeah, but but that's what those voices do. There's one called the Raven. That is totally AI. It's creepy. And it's a true crime voice. Well, tonight we're going to talk about this case, and then they had this AI voice come in there. Have you been
I just
paying
thought it was the
attention
same
to?
person.
No, it's AI. Yeah, if you listen
I
to,
just thought it was always the same person.
yes, it's really creepy. Have you been paying attention to the strike? I mean, because the strike is going to affect.
I have worked. I mean, it's like I haven't done anything since the strike. I mean, I support it 100%. It's just I gotta have stuff to do. You know, I gotta be busy all the time. And when the strike happened, you wouldn't even see casting calls, just even for like little rinky dink hillbilly movies. You know, there was nothing, and it's good because like I said, we definitely support the strike.
Now, how are you staying busy? How are you staying busy now? Are you auditioning every day, or it's just, you said it's just dried up, or?
Yeah, it's like since the strike, everything's dried up, but it's like you're starting to see casting calls and stuff again. But if I'm not acting, I'm behind the camera working. And some roles, in some movies, I do both.
So you operate your you train yourself to be a
Like I said, as long
cinematographer?
as I'm no,
Are you talking about?
script supervisor, first AD. Yeah, I'm not. I haven't trained to do cinematography yet, but like I said, I'm script supervisor, first AD, second AD, several different things. Like whatever needs to be done, if I can help, I do it.
Right, right. Isn't that a I see more and more of these independent film companies. I've always and I've heard from several actors and directors and whatnot, and they sit there and they say, and Chadwick, I'm sure Chadwick and Jeff will back this up. The fact is, if you're just there just to act, I mean, if you're on an independent set and you're there and you're there as an actor, it's really important to go in there and try to pitch in with the like once your scene's over, you're waiting for a scene, just don't stand there to try to get try to get involved with the process, like what can I do to help, how can I make your job easier.
Mm-hmm.
um I think it helps the production become more smooth, um and it shows teamwork. um, what was your
Oh yeah,
first job
definitely.
that you did? What did you do after when when you weren't acting? What was the first? How did you get involved in your first set? Did you ask somebody if they needed help, or did you just get in there and say, "Do you
Oh,
need this lighting move?"
I was in a post-credit scene of a short film that was filmed here called Alone, and that was the first time that Jason Pitts and I had worked together. And then he was doing his second short film, and like we stayed in contact, and he had asked me if I knew anything about being a script supervisor. I was like, no. And then he goes, well, it's be detail oriented. And he was telling me exactly what they did, and I was like, cool. He goes, can you do it? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And then I just went, watched hours. I spent hours and hours of studying tutorials and all that stuff. And then that's how I got started. So
I love it. I love it. I love the DIY ethic. It's like I said before, it's so punk rock. We got a bunch of new people walked inside our chat. Echo is here. Hello, Echo. Hey, Pap Master is here. There's our good friend Don, aka Rob Zombie, who just walked in. It says hello, Patrick, Amielynn, and chat. He says his hands are busy, so forgive me for caspering. He uses. I should have copyrighted that. Thank you for forgive me for caspering, but I'm enjoying the conversation. We got to throw sloppy hand hearts for Don. Sloppy hand heart for Don. Uh, thank you guys all for coming. Oh gosh, I gotta send you a video. I gotta send you a video after we're done interviewing. You'll crack up when you watch it.
okay.
Hey Brene, how are you? There is our friend Brene is here. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Share us out if you can. We are talking to actress. I guess what do we call you now? Actress and first AD and script doctor or script supervisor.
Yeah,
Basically,
I've done that.
just an all around massive creative talent here. Um, okay, so let's talk a little bit more about some of the films that you popped in there. Now, the movie you said you had. What was the movie you said you had the hardest time emotionally working on?
It was for a short film that was written by this insanely talented. At the time, he was 14, and his name's Aiden Esslinger, and it was a short film called Justice, and it was about like police brutality and racism and all that everything. And I got cast as the mom of the white friend, and yeah, that I don't. Yeah.
So you got asked to play.
And,
You got asked to play like a racist character. That is hard. That is hard. I've never really.
It really is, and there's certain things I won't do, like because I don't do them in my personal life, and certain words I won't use. And that was like my big thing when they offered me the role. The first thing I said was like, "Yeah, I'm not saying that word. I ain't doing it." But I didn't even like the way she referred.
I remember watching a movie. I think you've heard of it. Maybe some of the people in chat probably heard of. But there was this movie that Mel Brooks did called Blazing Saddles, and it was a
Yes,
comedy.
I have it. I
Okay.
actually own it.
Okay. Well, on the special features, they have one of the actors. Now, this is 1974, I think it was, and one of the actors way back then was sitting there saying how he did not like having to say that word. He says, "I don't want to say that word. I'm totally uncomfortable." And then Cleavon Little walked up to him and said, "Listen, you're good. You're all right. You're all right. If that's part of it, you're okay. You're not going to offend me. You're not going to offend anybody here." But he said he still felt wrong saying it,
Yeah,
even though he was an actor. It's part of the
definitely.
script.
Yeah.
I've often wondered about that. Like, how hard is it for some actors? Because sometimes, quite honestly, Amielynn, it seems like like someone like a Quentin Tarantino. Um, you know, it comes a little bit too easy to him to say. He says it a little bit too much. You know,
Yeah, I just
he
know
sort
like
of.
I played a racist character one other time, and she was a 1950s housewife. But
Mhm.
each one of those, like, because I had to stay in that mindset for hours, um, I actually got physically ill when we were done, and I left set. I headed home, and when my body, it took me a while for my mind to get back down to where it needed to be. I actually got physically ill, like legitly.
Yeah.
I had to pull over, man.
Oh, well, bless your
But
heart for
but
that,
that
because
the
because
the, the but the movie, the first one I was telling you about, was, even though I hated that character, was the most rewarding film I've done yet, because just of the social injustice and the awareness of all of that this young man had to write this script at 14.
we got more people rolling in here. Our friend and press guru Stephen Chang is here, and our good friend Dell on Movies is here. Glad you guys are here. Share us out if you will. And we are talking with actress. Amy, how do you say your last name, Amielynn?
Woodall.
Woodall. Okay, I don't know. I think I was. Okay, I think I was mispronouncing. I wasn't quite sure. Yeah, those
It's
kind of
all
roles. I mean, those kind of roles are really. After you do it the first couple of times and you have that kind of reaction to it, then I think you, as an actor, I think you understand that you're just playing a role, and and I think if I'm not mistaken, in your case, it was really rough. But do you feel like if you were asked to play that role tomorrow, would you still have the same reaction to it, or would you be a little bit more comfortable knowing based on your work history? Now that now that you have experience on
I
it.
would I would definitely play that same character again, if they brought her back to where she had a realization that her husband's beliefs and the way they treat people isn't good. Like, if she like pulled a complete change of heart or change of personality or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but like the way she was in that one, no, I would never play her again.
Mm,
It's
mm.
just that's just something I'm never going to get used to.
Do you have a hard time getting, like, do you have a hard time bringing those kind of emotion stuff to the forefront? I mean, you know,
Actually,
can you cry on cue, or does it take a little bit
oh
for you
yeah.
to get there?
Well, I'm one of it's crazy because I'm one of those people. It's like I don't really ever cry. I'm one of those "why are you crying" kind of people.
Yeah,
But when it comes to acting and stuff, yeah, I just let everything that keeps all of that down in my normal life. I just let it go, and it's easy to cry on camera.
it is, isn't it? I've heard that. I've
Mhm.
heard that. But I've
But that
also heard that
also,
sometimes. Go ahead.
it's very emotionally draining. Very emotional. Like sometimes I had like when I've had gross rap. Like one project I did. My daughter committed suicide, and I had to cry like almost through the whole thing, except for like I had like some memory flashbacks of before. But that, oh God, I had to cry so much, but I was so exhausted, just physically, emotionally, and just,
How many takes? How many takes is it usually can an actor hold? Do you feel like how many takes can you hold that character? Like they said, if you had
um,
to play that scene, how many times can you do it before you just sit there and say, you have to come back to me because I'm empty.
uh, it, a lot of, for me personally, a lot of it depends on like when they yell cut, if nobody talks to me to try to distract me, if I can just stay in that emotion, stay in that state of mind up until we're ready to start filming again. I mean, there'll be times where I don't even change my stance. I don't move. I'm a statue, but I'm still having that change. But it's like somebody else try to talk to me, and I'm like, I'm just like, go away, don't, because once it goes away, it's not easy to
Hard
get
to
back.
bring it back. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very draining. How do you usually get let go of your difficult characters? I mean, do you after they're done? I mean, after you get done off the, you wrap up your part and it's a draining part. How do you recover? Do you just go home and talk to your husband about it? Do you stay by yourself a
Nah,
little bit?
no. It starts as soon as I get in my vehicle to head home from set. Like I get in, I crank the music, and just drive. Like I just drive.
Mhm.
Sometimes I come straight home. Sometimes I take a detour, maybe take me an hour or two longer to get home. But if I'm still not feeling right, like I'm still in a little bit of that headspace, like the next day, I just go for a run. I just run.
Okay, let me catch up on the chat here. Mr. Bones is sharing us out. Thank you, Mr. Bones. Let's see. Thank you, Pat, for sharing us out. I appreciate that. Let's see. Steven thinks that you're a screen queen for sure.
Thank
Have you
you.
heard that term? Did you hear that term before you started working? Did you know what a
I
screen
did.
queen
Yeah.
was?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite screen queen?
Lynn Lowry.
Wow, you got mad respect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Everybody.
I actually had the opportunity to work with her.
What was it like working with
Yeah,
her?
I got to work with her and Robert. Oh, she is wonderful. I was in awe. Like, after we wrapped, everybody's like, "Oh, Lynn, can I have your, a picture with you?" And I just stood back. I was just like, mm. Oh, I mean, it was just awesome. Like, she is wonderful.
And who has been the biggest star other than Lynn Lowry that you worked with?
I worked with Robert Mukes, um,
Okay, I know who he is.
Amber Dawn Fox, Amber Dawn Fox, uh, James Stokes. I'm trying to think of. Oh, and I also got to work with a professional wrestler, Madman Fulton.
Okay,
Yeah, I got to work
relation.
with him.
You
So
okay? Have you got to work with Eric Roberts yet?
that's a goal. Every actor or even cast or crew, we all have those dream people that we want to work with. That's a goal. He's like number one on mine.
That it'll happen. He acts with everybody, which I which I
Yeah.
which I really do appreciate it. No, I do. I he's awesome. He does so many movies. It's such a great. It's so fun to hear young actors are just starting out and they'll get us have a chance to do a scene with them and they'll sit there and say, I worked with Eric Roberts today, and it's fun to watch when when young actors work with someone like a Lynn Lowry. I mean, were you intimidated a little bit when you met her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would think a
Well,
little
like I
bit.
said, it started. Well, I'm walking. Everybody was telling because I'd worked with Madman on one set, and I went from filming the Voorhees Night of the Beast. Me and the DP drove. I forgot how many hours to film Locked In, and I thought Madman was tall. Then I walked past Robert Meeks on set, and I was just like, oh, God. So I thought that was intimidating. And then I met Lynn Lowry, and I was just like, oh my God. She's like, I don't deserve to be in her presence
Wow, that's
at
so
all.
cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Um,
She's amazing.
let's see. Let's see. Okay, the chat is really fired up today. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Stephen, though, Stephen is saying how you're a good friend of his, and he is a great guy.
Stephen.
Um, and Stephen Chang is here,
Oh
and our
yeah.
friend Pat.
Sorry,
Yep.
Stephen.
And our
I know
friend
more than
Pap
one,
is here
so I'm so
saying
sorry.
how beautiful you look. Let's see.
Oh, thank you.
Lady J. Hi, Lady J. Ghoul is here. See, Don says Bones gets a sloppy hand heart. Yeah. Okay. There. I, I had to add that in for you, Don. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by, Lady J. I appreciate it. Man, I would love to, yeah, I would like to talk to Lynn Lowry myself. Lynn Lowry or Lynn Shay would be
She's wonderful.
yeah, that I would, yeah. Uh I like to talk to Eileen Dietz too. That would be fun because I like do you
She's
like
awesome.
working with the older do you like working with what do you think what do you like working with? Do you like working with totally experienced actors, or do you like working with actors that are just starting out? Have you seen anybody just starting out in the business? Um, have they ever come up to you and
Yeah.
talked to you like what am I doing, Amielynn? You know, can you help me out? Have anybody ever come up to you and said, can you offer me advice?
They have, but yeah, it's just I just tell them like, dude, I was like, do your best, be respectful, listen to the director, don't argue, just
Right.
be respectful, relax,
Uh,
you got it, you know.
I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. So let's talk about some. I want to go back to your because I really like I like your body of work. And one of the movies I want to talk to you about, if I can, is the movie called Rest Area. So talk to us a little bit about Rest Area.
Oh,
Uh,
that
so
one,
this,
that one was filmed in Mississippi, and God, that I felt so bad because the girl that my character hated is actually one of my really, really super good friends.
oh, okay.
So, yeah. So, and I pick on her all the time, but that I just felt so bad for her because my character hated her so much because she's a total sweetheart. But I ended up with like poison ivy from that set.
Did you?
when we got home. But yeah, it was interesting. Like, because all I had on was like, that sports bra and a pair of leggings running. And my death scene is like, I had to fall because, I got stabbed in the back, I think. And so like the guys like dragging me through the weeds and everything. They're like, wait, we need to put down a mat. I'm like, no, dude, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And yeah, I ended up with poison ivy on my ribs.
Oh my God. Now you got to work in Rest Area.
Yeah, that one was definitely rewarding.
It's an anthology film, so you're part of the different stories. Was that your first anthology film that you worked on? And
no, the I think Indestructible is one of those two, and then there's and it's from the same film company, Dark Knight Films. I've been in several of their installments.
Now, are they Arkansas?
There was one that we filmed when we went to the Mississippi. Yeah. We went. One of them was like we went to film in Louisiana, and it just time we got home, I called the producer guy, the guy who was in charge of everything. I was like, dude, I'm not happy with it. I did not like the location, everything. I was like, if you're going to put it out there, I was like, obviously you can't take me out of the role, but I was like, but don't put my name attached to it anywhere. And then he was like, yeah, he goes, there's no way I can possibly know how to edit this. And so he let me rewrite the script the way to make it better. And to make it more modern or more current or relevant. Is the word I'm looking for. And I'm the director. So.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
So the director. It says here, Danny Todd or Curtis Everett. So it's not Curtis Everett. It's you.
Yeah, no, Curtis Everett's awesome. Like he's a really good friend of mine.
Now, are you talking? Oh, that's right. You're talking about the first anthology.
I haven't met Danny Todd yet. Yeah,
When
yeah,
did
yeah.
did you
Song.
start did you start writing once you started acting, or had you always written?
No, no. I just started.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's just like I said, that one I was like, dude, I was like, this one, the way it was, it had a storyline, but it was a typical vampire is the guy, the head vampire is the guy, and it was very stereotypical. And since he let me, told me I could make whatever changes I needed to, I was like, okay, this is what's happening, and so he liked my idea, so he told me to rewrite the script.
It does
And
seem like a
then
lot
there
of
was,
horror. It does seem like a lot of horror follows like a small, small group of scenarios. Sometimes I'll go and I'll read the back of I'll read the synopsis of a movie. Either I'll read the back of it or I'll read it online, and it's like five friends go out to a cabin, or a couple decides to go away to a cabin to fix their marriage. It's like it's the same plot line over and over and over, and you really want to
it
sit there
is,
and
but
say,
I just think that it is, and it's just like I think it's like that because there's so many movies made, and it's what is there even an original idea anymore? Like, because
it's
I just
tough.
don't see like.
It can be tough. I've
Mhm.
seen some really good original films, really strong ones, and I've seen quite a few actually, and it can be done. But yes, you're right. I mean, a lot of times it's what the plot's going to be, like with found footage. Just about 98% of found footage is always going to end up with the person dead. Everybody's going to be dead by the end of the movie. That's what found footage is. It's
Dead or
like,
missing.
yeah, or they never saw them again. But pretty much that they're going to meet a grisly end. That's found footage. You know
Oh
that
yeah,
going in. So you can't sit there and say, "Wow, I didn't see that coming," when in fact you really could. Um, and of course, the five friends, and it's always five. It always seems to be five people. Let's go out to the cabin. Five people. It's like, why can't
it's
you
not.
make it
Yeah,
six?
it's not five people; it's five couples.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why not five couples? But no, there always has to be an odd man out or an odd girl out to
Oh yeah,
create tension. Yeah. It does hurt a little bit sometimes, as far as the story goes, because that's really what we're watching. We're watching. Well, actually, what I watch when I watch a movie like that, I'm watching for the cast, because I already know the story. But I'm looking for the actors that are acting in it. Like, what are they bringing to the party? Maybe you can't bring
mm-hmm.
much new to the script or the plot, but you can bring something new as far as your acting
You can
goes.
bring something new to the character. Yeah, you can bring something new to the
Right.
character.
I think that's always going to be open for horror actors. Is I do everything that's I'm doing it. I've done like 30 horror films. Okay, I get that, but what have you done to make each character memorable? Because that's the real work right there, right? I mean, that's the real challenge, is
Mm-hmm.
make your character stand out. Um, have you won any awards yet for your acting?
Uh, some guy sent me something that said I won like best actor or act for something I don't know, and I was like, okay, like what film festival is this? He goes, no, he goes, I just made that for you because I felt like you deserved it.
Oh, that's very cool.
So that's
You
it.
know what? You know what? You got
Yeah.
to take it, right? You got to take it. Um, uh,
Oh yeah,
uh,
definitely, definitely.
so what do you want to do in the future? Do you want to go ahead and get behind the camera and direct your own feature film? I mean, is that something you'd want to do? Um, how or do you want to
I,
screenwrite?
I if I get the opportunity, I'll do it all. You know,
Mhm.
I want to do it all at least once to say I did it.
Sure, sure.
And, mhm.
Um, no, why not? I definitely think you have the drive for it.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
Um,
I'm going to be directing a short film, and the Actually, there are two short films. And then I rewrote the other one. So I'm
Okay.
starting that part of it.
What's it like that when you write? Um, Walk us through it. Like let's say tomorrow you're gonna write. You plan on writing tomorrow. What's your day? How do you plan out your day?
Um, I I usually, because I don't sleep, so I do everything at night, and it's just like okay, I jot down on like in a notepad or whatever ideas I have for okay, does this sound good? This works, and then it's like I just and then I usually a lot of times I know how the story's going to start and I know how it's going to end, but I have to get from this point to this point. That's my hard part. Or sometimes I know what the middle of the movie should be and what the end should be, but it's like how do I start it? So
I'm
like
to
old
me,
school when it comes to my notepad and my ink pen.
I think a good line to start off with is like hello, Sydney.
That's actually one of my daughter's names.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, I see.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody in the chat reacting either.
So
So,
I
what if
yeah,
you
so
could,
it's
if you
funny because
could,
I'll actually call her
huh?
if I could what?
Uh,
I was just saying that
if you
I actually call her and like whenever like
oh, right.
you can go ahead.
I got a question for you. I mean, if you could get a chance to work with three directors, what three directors would you like to work with?
Ron Howard, Tyler Perry, and Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie. Yeah.
Right. I love. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Though, I just would love to see Rob Zombie do a movie without his wife. Do you think that'll ever happen? Do you
Well,
think that will ever happen?
I don't know. She's in all of them, so.
Oh, it's just like it'd be all right if she actually. See, you made Don very happy. He just came up there and said, "Yeah." uh, let's see, and then Steven caught the Scream reference. Thank you, Steven. I knew you'd catch it. There's so many Scream fans around here. I'm surrounded by Scream fans. So when I do drop a Scream line, I thought everybody would be jump all over it, but everybody's sitting there going like, "What's that? What do you mean, hello, Sydney?"
Like I was saying that's my youngest daughter's name, and whenever I get like a cold or whatever, and my voice gets real raspy, I'll call her and I'm just like, "Hello, Sydney."
What's your favorite horror film, Sydney? So what? How about okay? What about your three favorite horror films? The ones that scared you the most.
Well, it'd be starting out the original Amityville.
Good one.
Mm-hmm. That movie, that I was like, God, I think I was like 4 or 5 when I watched it. So it messed with me pretty bad for years. Yeah.
Okay.
Horror related though, it's like a lot of things that are scaring people in movies I'm laughing at. I mean, so it's like ones that I've personally been involved in would be Voorhees Night of the Beast because it was just freaking fantastic. But there's really not a lot of horror that scare me because they're all. I have yet to find any that weren't predictable.
Yeah, I think some of the supernatural ones get me. A movie that I really enjoyed quite a bit. Actually, we were talking about the Pope's Exorcist, and while it wasn't scary, I was really like caught in with the story. They were telling a story that I would never thought I would ever see on screen. They're talking about the Spanish Inquisition and the church's role in it, and I was like, that's really out. That's really out there. It's like you never seen that before, and it just caught my attention, and it added a lot of like surprise to me. It was like, oh, I didn't expect to see that ever, and not in my lifetime. But I was really impressed with that. I mean, it was like made the movie very memorable for me. Let's see. Steven mentioned it. Let's see. Locked in. Yeah, it's locked in. Let's see. Yes.
I was actually on that one
Steven
too.
wants to know. Steven wants
I
to
had a
know.
scene with
Yes,
Robert Meeks in that.
let's see. Now, locked in. Was that is that movie about a physical lock in or a locked in like a medical locked in?
It is about women getting kidnapped and sold and tortured and kept locked in with the chain, and yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
pretty brutal.
Okay. So,
Black market
human
stuff.
human trafficking. Yeah, definitely. That's rough. That's a tough subject.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horror,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it's also almost like true crime. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's very relevant because that
Mm.
happens every day,
I
and the
had
stuff that
no
these women
idea.
went through in that film.
You really
Yeah,
we
I
really
mean,
have no idea how bad human trafficking is in this
mhm.
country.
Yeah.
It's really something else, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and one of the scenes was so graphic that some of the crew had to leave there. They couldn't be there when we filmed because it messed with them too bad.
Right, right. Yeah. Isn't that something? You're
Mhm.
making a movie, you know what you're seeing is, part of the process. You think that, because it's not all together, it's not all one continuous movie. And you would think that just, on the set, you're behind the scenes, right? You see what the wizard is doing. Um, but yet you still can be affected by it. Like holy shit, what are they doing here? Oh my god, no, and I can understand
Yeah,
sometimes the crew gets a little upset.
I came on to set as an unpaid PA, and so I didn't know anything about what it was about. I was just like, Amber Dawn Foss was in it, and that's all it took. I did what I had to do to get on that set. And then after that's when I found out Robert Meeks was in it. But I didn't read the script until because my roomie was the DP for it, and he was also the writer, or the script doctor for it. And I didn't read the script until the night before we filmed. And I was like, what the? Oh, I mean, I'm talking to myself the whole time I'm reading the script, and he's sitting on his side of his bed, the hotel room and all that, and was just laughing because of my reaction when I was reading the script.
I guess that's when
And then I went on. I was like, dude, you wrote this, right? And he goes, I was like, where does this come from? Because he just says he when he starts writing, he just puts his earbuds in and listens to music and zones out, and that's what happens. But yeah, I went on that set as an unPPA. By the second day, the director and his wife, which was one of the producer, was like, "Oh, she knows what she's talking about." Bumped up to second AD, and then went back on set the next day, and they were like, "Oh, hey, you're an actor." And I was like, "Yeah. What do you want to do a scene?" Yeah, sure, okay. Because the lady was supposed to have a scene with Robert Meeks, and she couldn't make it to set, so I just stepped in and did it.
Yeah, in the
I
indie
don't know
film curve, right?
Yeah,
Does
I don't know if that
does
scene made it
happen?
into the movie because I haven't watched it, but
Is that the bane of indie filmmaking is when people don't make the set?
she was the one who found our location, and so the director gave her that. It's a really small part, but anyhow, so she had other stuff to do with her kids and couldn't make it to set in time to film that scene. Like she was going to be late, and to keep schedule going, they just went ahead and had me do it.
Okay, okay. But is that a problem? Have you discovered that since you started working on various indie sets? Is that a big problem for sets? Is when actors don't show up?
I've only ever had that happen with like one or two, like where the actor was late, and that was because like one of them her GPS was our GPS got us lost. So yeah, her GPS, she was 2 hours late, but it was because she was just that lost. Because it's like out in the hills of Kentucky, back roads, all that. So yeah, I mean, I've never had anybody be so unprofessional that they just didn't show up or that they were late. Like, I've never had that happen.
that's a good thing. I mean, that's, to
Mhm.
me, it's like, man, you made a commitment. Try to show up for it. I mean, it's, you want to, because there's so many people dependent on you. Like you could hold up a whole set. If your key actor's not there, you could hold up the whole. You could
Mhm.
hold up the whole set. And when money's tight, um, you know, I mean, you feel maybe on a major movie you don't feel it as much, and you have insurance, but on a small film, it's absolutely critical that you show up. And I mentioned earlier when we're talking about doing various jobs on the set, and to me that's part of it too. When you do when you do the when you come on set, not only do you act, but you come out there and you try to help out. Help out too. Like,
Mhm.
okay, we got to move location. Okay, get your hands dirty and
Okay.
what do you need me to do? Um, okay, so what's next
Yeah, that's what
for
I tell them I do, whatever it takes to help. What's
what's
next?
next for you?
Um,
Yeah.
uh, as of right now, I don't have anything going on until next spring, and I am script supervisor for a feature film called Forest Through the Trees.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
so that's what I got
Now
going on.
that'll
I've been
probably
taking it slow
change.
this year. So
Yeah, I'm sure that will change once the strike gets settled. I sense the strike is not that
yeah,
far away from being settled. I think they said they're like they're like $500 million apart. And on paper that looks like a lot of money, but it really
wow.
isn't. And I'm sure they'll get it fixed up and they'll be up and running here. Probably, I would think they'll probably ratify within a couple of. I say within a week the strike will be over. When they start putting numbers out in the public's eye,
Well, that
that
would be
means
cool, but
yeah. Hopefully that means everybody else will get back to work too. Uh, all right,
yeah.
boys and
In the
girls.
meantime, in the meantime,
In the
I was
meantime,
just
yeah,
saying. In the
you just
meantime,
keep
I'm
doing
just like auditioning. So
right, right. And you said that auditions are picking up, so hopefully
mhm.
you'll get some more roles out of that, and we will be able to see you on the big screen sometime soon.
Oh yeah.
And I know a couple of people dropped your link to some of your films in the chat, and
Oh, awesome,
yes. Uh,
awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate that so much, Chadwick and Dale. I appreciate that. All right, boys and girls, it is time for us to wrap it up. I want to thank our guest, Amielynn Woodall, for coming in and hanging out with us. This has been a lot of
Thanks for
fun. We
having me.
overcame bad connection, bad technology.
Yes.
It was a little bumpy. It was a little bumpy, but stay with the interview. It's been a lot of fun talking to you. I'm looking forward to seeing where your career goes, and hopefully you'll come back sometime and visit us next year. And
Oh,
real
definitely. All
quick,
you got to do is say when.
huh?
I said, all you got to do is say when,
Oh
and I'll
yes.
be
Oh well,
back.
that's the easiest word for
Say
me to
when.
say. So, you want to come back? Yeah, because I really like having people come back, and I'm working very hard at bringing some old favorites back from that we've talked to before. I do. I really enjoy talking to young actors such as yourself. I mean, young as far as the years that you've been working, and you're still young, very
That I've been
young actually.
acting.
I still can't
Oh
believe that
no,
you're a grandma.
I
I still can't believe you're a
yeah,
grandma. I'm
I
sure
would
that
say my
that's
yeah,
just that's just
yeah.
I
Put
think
it
you're
this way,
just
I'm closer to 50 than 40.
I was gonna say I think you're just playing the part. You're not really a grandma. You're just playing it. Um, I want to
Yeah,
thank the chat.
I hired the
Chat.
kids.
You know what? She did come in and steal scene on you. So you know what? I'm believing that.
Right?
I'm gonna go
Mhm.
with that.
Yeah.
Um, I want to thank the chat for coming in and hanging out with us. This has been awesome. Thanks to Don and Timothy and Steven and Chadwick and Mr. Bones, Brene, so many people. Thank you so much. We're going to be back tomorrow night for a double header. That's right, double header day tomorrow. We will be here at 3 p.m. Eastern time to for a long overdue interview with the mighty Bat, also known as Al Lucard. Me and Al, we have done a show together. We have talked movies together. We have done interviews together, but I have never interviewed him. And I'm fixing that tomorrow. We will be talking with Al Lucar tomorrow night at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then here on our regular time at 8 p.m., where we will be talking with actors, JoJo Monkey will be here with us. And at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And then Friday night, we have a roundtable. That's right. We have uh, uh, 8 questions with roundtable with Ross Yerger, David Beckmeyer, and Deanna Kennedy. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of things on Friday night at 8 o'clock. All right, that is it. Stay right where you're at for me, Amielynn. I'm going to say goodnight to the chat. Oh, Jeff Clark was here with us as well. I'm very remiss of that. Jeff is also here. He will be here next week as a guest. That's right.
Oh,
Jeff
nice.
Clark will be here as a guest. So you'll thank you for throwing out the bat sign. That's right. Al Lucar's calling card. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to Jeff. That'll be a great interview. And also we're talking to next week. We're also talking to Count Gregula. Will be here on Wednesday, and then on Tuesday we have Dylan Yeager. And after that, I am going on vacation for a month.
Nice.
Yes, overdue. Stay right where you're at, Amielynn, and to the chat. Thank you so much for coming out. We will talk at you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern with Al Lucard.